The movie opens with Roman and Daria in a heated argument, where Daria complains about Roman's shortcomings as a partner and his lack of gratitude, while Roman fires back, saying she's not great in bed and that he could find someone more affectionate. Just as the tension seems to peak, it becomes clear that this is part of a game they play to spice up their relationship. After exchanging a few more jabs, they make up and end up being intimate, then unwind with a bath. Feeling relaxed, Roman proposes that they be lifelong partners. However, Daria is hesitant, expressing her disbelief in marriage. She jokingly tells him that, like Shakira once said to Peak, marriage would make them lose interest. Roman is a bit uneasy with her stance, but Daria assures him she'll consider it. The next day, while Roman is out for a run, Daria's younger sister, Elizabeth, arrives at the family cabin to spend a week with them. Later, as Roman is fixing a bicycle, Elizabeth offers him advice since it's actually her bike. Daria becomes irritated and tells Elizabeth to find her own space and limit interactions with them. Elizabeth goes to sunbathe on the terrace, opting to go shirtless. Roman stumbles upon her sunbathing but makes his presence known to ease the awkwardness. The couple then heads out for a swim, while Daria hints that Elizabeth should consider booking a ticket home. While Roman watches Daria in the water, Elizabeth takes advantage of her absence to try on her clothes and scent them. She later crosses paths with Roman, who's only in a towel, but they go their separate ways. That evening, as they prepare for dinner, there's an unmistakable tension in the air. Roman asks Elizabeth about her boyfriend, and she says he couldn't come due to work. Daria quickly dismisses this, saying she knows her sister doesn't have a boyfriend, and then invites Roman to join her for some private time in the bedroom, a moment that makes Elizabeth visibly uncomfortable. The following day, while Roman and Daria are relaxing at the lake, Elizabeth arrives and asks if she can join them, which disrupts their peace. Elizabeth settles down nearby with a book, and Daria grows increasingly annoyed. Frustrated, Daria leaves the lake and heads back to the cabin. Roman follows her to her room, asking her not to leave and subtly implying he wants her to stay for his own reasons. During dinner that evening, Daria and Roman share an intimate moment, but Elizabeth's presence intrudes again. Daria invites Roman to the bedroom, but he chooses to stay with Elizabeth instead, engaging in a casual conversation where Elizabeth opens up about the sisters' long-standing family issues. As they say goodnight, there's an undeniable chemistry between Roman and Elizabeth, hinted at by her cheerful expression. The next day, on a rainy afternoon, Daria dozes off with her head resting on Roman's lap while watching TV. Taking advantage of the moment, Roman and Elizabeth share a lingering glance and eventually kiss, each going their separate ways afterward. Unbeknownst to them, Daria was awake and seems to sense that something is going on. Daria invites them to a bar to celebrate her marriage proposal, but Elizabeth decides not to go and instead spends the afternoon drinking. Upon arriving, Roman enters her room without exchanging words. Elizabeth takes off her dress, but right at that moment Daria returns, finding them about to be start. It turns out that Daria orchestrated the entire situation, tired of Elizabeth's flirtations with her partners. Roman had agreed to play along, hoping to teach Elizabeth a lesson. The next morning, while Roman and Daria are having a private moment, they're interrupted by Anthony, Elizabeth's unexpected date. Elizabeth reveals to Roman that Anthony was actually Daria's ex. That night, Daria and Anthony sit close, sparking Roman's jealousy. Elizabeth seizes this tension to subtly imply that Roman is weak for going along with Daria's plan, even accusing him of lacking integrity. Later, when Roman attempts to reconnect with Daria, she turns him down, highlighting a rift in their relationship. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and Anthony talk about the past, with him explaining that Daria suddenly ghosted him. Elizabeth flirts with Anthony, who gently declines and later reflects on his history with Daria. The next day, the group goes for a picnic. Elizabeth takes the opportunity to apologize to Roman and hints that she feels something for him, which doesn't go unnoticed by Daria and Anthony. As they talk, Elizabeth gives each of them a reading, saying Anthony's pursuit of his desires might ultimately cost him his peace, and that Roman will soon reveal his true nature. Back at the cabin, Anthony tries to force himself on Daria, who declares she's soon marrying Roman. At dinner, a tense exchange unfolds, and Anthony, still hurt, begins provoking Roman. When Anthony claims Daria has manipulated Roman from the beginning, Roman remains silent. But Daria reveals that Anthony had tried to assault her earlier. Anthony retaliates by accusing Daria of cheating on Roman during their first months together. Roman, feeling betrayed and confused, asks Daria to follow him upstairs. Hurt by Roman's lack of defense, she hesitates, while Anthony taunts Roman to hit him. When Roman refuses, Anthony laughs, accusing him of failing to see that Elizabeth's presence and everything they'd experienced had all been part of Daria's elaborate games. In the final twist, Roman realizes he's been ensnared in a manipulative plot crafted by both sisters, with each orchestrated moment intentionally designed to unsettle him. As Roman tries to make sense of the twisted game, Daria taunts him, saying he's too slow to realize the truth. She calls him boring and predictable, words that sting as he begins to understand the depth of the sisters' deception. Roman thanks Anthony for helping him see the truth but insults him at the same time, pushing Anthony to react violently. Anthony's punch knocks Roman down, causing him to hit his neck and appear lifeless. In panic, Anthony considers disposing of Roman's body, while Elizabeth initially agrees but later manages to escape with a phone to call the police. When Anthony confronts her, Daria intervenes and knocks him out. As the police arrive, Anthony ends up confessing to everything, thinking it would protect him, while Roman, surprisingly, survives the ordeal. The story seems to conclude with the situation under control, but the next day, as the sisters leave the cabin, tensions reignite. They argue, with Daria confessing that she needs to inflict harm on others to find purpose in life. Offended by her sister's cruelty and dismissiveness, Elizabeth abandons Daria by the roadside. Yet, as Elizabeth returns after some time, she's accompanied by a new man, hinting at her own evolution and the beginning of her own game, continuing the cycle of manipulation. This drama ends with both sisters locked in patterns of control and deception, suggesting that they're trapped in an endless game of their own making.